Teams that will fall short or overachieve relative to their expectations. Let's go to the Big 12, and we'll start with Arizona. I think Arizona is going to fall a little short of their expectations this year. Vegas has their win total at 7.5 wins, which is achievable. But I think their expectations are really to compete for a Big 12 championship. Now they're entering in a brand new conference and coming in from the Pac-12. They just came off of probably the best year in like a decade for Arizona. They had a sensational year. They just lost their coach Jed Fish, but they bring in Brent Brennan, who will be solid from San Jose State, because they were able to retain the core of their roster from that team last year, who had a very successful year, including their three biggest playmakers in Noah Fafita, T-Mac, and Takario Davis, who all of them, everyone thought that all of them were going to just head to Washington to follow Jed Fish, but they stayed there, and a lot of the other kids stayed on the roster as well. So Brennan is inheriting a pretty solid roster from what Jed Fish was able to put together over the past few years there, which, to Arizona has been really hard to find for that program over the last several years. They also bring in Dino Babers, used to be head coach of Syracuse. He's going to run the offense, so I think that's a good hire there. So I mean, look, there's a lot to like about this team, but I take a look at the schedule. Their home games are pretty favorable, but their away games are pretty tough. They're at K-State, and they have a bye, and then they're at Utah. So within a 3-week stretch, they're at K-State and at Utah. They also go to UCF, and they also go to TCU. So their road games are pretty tough, and I think just with there's a lot of newness to this team. I think there's too much newness to this team in terms of coaching, in terms of schemes, in terms of hopping into a new conference. So I think people are a little high on them based on how much they were able to overachieve last year in the roster that they're bringing back. But I think they're going to take a step back this year. I think they're going to fall short a little bit of their expectations. However, I do feel like Brent Brennan and that roster that he's inherited will be set up for success for the years to come. Now, let's flip it over to overachieving expectations. Now, I'm going to go to Oklahoma State here. Now, I know this might sound a little bit weird because they were in the conference title game last year. But, with a brand new conference and, Texas and Oklahoma leaving, there is now room at the top for a program to come and grab that. And I think Oklahoma State has a really good shot at doing that. And so their over-under win total is 8.5 wins, which, I think against this schedule is going to be pretty tough. But I think that their expectations are to win a conference title and to compete for a conference title. And I think that they can do that. Now, they bring back damn near everyone. I think they bring back 20 or 21 of the 22 starters from last year, of a team that was in the conference title game last year, including running back Ollie Gordon, who's the best running back in the Big 12, arguably the country. I think they'll have the best linebacker duo in the conference in Nick Martin and Colin Oliver. We have Alan Bowman, who's going to be up for his AARP card this year, so he'll bring a lot of experience to the offense this year. Like, he really improved over the course of the year, especially in the second half of last year. So he can bring over that confidence and that skill set to start the year. I think they're going to be pretty good offensively. Now, the schedule is extremely front-loaded. It's insane. They start off with South Dakota State, who competes for FCS national championships every year. Then they have Arkansas at Tulsa, and then they are Utah at home, and then at K-State. Like, those are the top two teams in the conference, are favored to be the top two teams in the conference. So their first 5 games is no cakewalk. Once they get through that, then the schedule becomes a little bit more manageable. But I think they have the team, the experience, the roster. Mike Gundy is an excellent coach to get through that toughness and overachieve on what their expectations are and get to the Big 12 title game and get to the college football playoff. I think they have a real shot at that. If the defense can improve and they come off to a hot start this year, I think they'll be in the conference title game and they'll have a shot to make the college football playoff. Follow Big Body Ball on all social